So we talked about this hot-balled trans babe before, several times on this channel. Her name is Keffals, and aside from being an obvious smoke show, that doesn't even need to be said of course, Keffals is also somewhat of a pathological liar obsessed with fame, which has led to some of the most insane behaviour we have witnessed on the internet since Chris Chan was thrown in jail. So, I've done several videos chronicling this individual's odd behaviour. You can see the playlist card on screen now if you want to go back and catch up. But the long and short of it is Keffals gained her fame as a fart porn dominatrix. Oh, sorry, that failed somehow. No idea why, she's so hot after all. It's the receding hairline that really turns me on personally. But she actually gained notoriety ratioing people on Twitter with bots they paid for. Something brainless people do when they have nothing to offer in the way of wit or humour. But this is how Keffals got a big break, and she decided to really set her stall out as a trans activist. Which is cool, isn't it? I mean, I'm not from that world, so I don't understand it at all. But someone like Keffals is. And she is using her newfound clout to raise awareness and make things better for people like her. That's cool. I can support that. So Keffals' first act as a newfound trans activist was to get extremely popular super left wing and the world's smallest man, Destiny, banned from Twitch by lying and pretending he was a transphobe. When anyone who's watched his streams, i.e. hundreds of thousands more people than have ever watched a Keffals stream, knows that not to be true in the slightest, and Keffals took great glee in celebrating it on Twitter. So this trans activism is not off to a good start, is it? You probably shouldn't go after a way more popular streamer who is super woke as well and get them banned from a platform. It's going to make more people hate you than like you. But she's just beginning, so let's give her a chance. Then Keffals' next stage in trans activism was to heavily promote their close friends Bob Posting or Chloe's bathtub DIY HRT business for minors, because nothing raises awareness to trans people's rights and their plight like trying to sell confused children life-altering drugs that will do them irreparable damage behind their parents' back as well. All normal people just coming across this randomly will immediately become the staunchest supporter of trans rights when someone like Keffals is a leading voice of the community, of course. Now obviously, trying to sell drugs to children kind of offends 99.999% of all people, so Keffals and her friend faced some serious backlash when this all arose. Made even worse after Destiny made a gloriously autistic write-up on the whole Keffals situation on Substack with absolutely everything archives. I highly recommend reading it, links in the description. But for some weird reason, after getting the spotlight shone on their righteous business, getting life-saving illegal treatments to little kids behind their parents' back, the DIY HRT business was mysteriously disowned by Keffals and her close friend. Almost like they knew all along they were up to some shady child grooming shit or something. I can't possibly say. I have no idea why they might have disowned it. Again, what's superb trans activism? The one rule you all must understand is when you are proclaiming to be a voice for disaffected people everywhere, you should always commit crimes everyone else finds abhorrent. It really makes everyone really warm to your cause. And then we got onto Keffals starting a war with Kiwi Farms, saying they doxed her and were harassing her, and I made more in-depth videos about that. But the short story is she was again lying, as the website Doxbin doxed her first, but she didn't care about the doxing. She did care about the thread documenting all the illegal DIY HRT for kids and the grooming Discord servers she ran. That's bad for business, so that had to go. And so began a campaign supported by all the most vile people in the mainstream media. And for a while, especially when Cloudflare dropped Kiwi Farms, it looked like Keffals had done the impossible and removed them from the internet. But thankfully, Kiwi Farms is back and running once again with the same amount of traffic as before, but certainly made headlines for Keffals. Now during that, Keffals struck pay dirt, and this is where the grift began in earnest, as she got swatted by the Canadian police when some idiots rang them up, where she lied and lied and lied about the whole experience. Like the police burst through the door and pointed guns in her face when in fact they just knocked on her door, and how the police were horribly transphobic to her during the whole ordeal, which again turned out to be another lie. But this idiot simply cannot tell the truth at any point. But when you want to steal 100k off people on GoFundMe by pretending to be terrified and needing to flee the country, you better embellish those details. And this spawned this now iconic meme template where she explains she's in hiding and scared for her life, which was another lie, because 6 weeks later, after being in severe life-threatening danger after being doxxed, she's on Twitter giving her exact location location for all those scary doctors to see. No refunds, idiots. Look, lies are how you win friends and influence people, okay? You normies just wouldn't understand. This is why you don't do activism and Keffals does. And that brings us to the present day. And Keffals is busy doing activism, which I think to Keffals means being unbelievably unpleasant and trying to ruin everyone they don't like lives. So she set her sights on huge YouTuber Nick Rekieta, a law YouTuber who made the genre law tubing on the platform popular, and a man way more popular and liked than Keffals could ever hope to be, which I think angers Keffals somewhat. Also, Nick didn't really agree with Keffals and her friend's hobby of selling HRT, so they pretended Nick Rekieta was sending them death threats and got their followers to flag him on Twitter and get his account banned, which they did, and then they all started reporting him to the state bar of Minnesota where he lives to try and get him banned from being a lawyer, which obviously got rejected because they were lying, and lawyers are kind of trained to be able to see straight through lies. It's a major part of the job. However, because Keffals has cultivated an army of the dumbest people alive today, they didn't realise all their names and addresses were now public record once they had submitted their reports to the state bar, and Nick Rekieta read these idiots' names on stream because he is entitled to. It's public record, and these people have just tried to ruin his life, so a little tit for tat is more than fair. Now obviously Keffals, being Keffals, sprang into action with yet more lies and proclaimed that Nick Rekieta was doxing all of these people, despite them literally sending him their names and addresses and agreeing to make their names and addresses public record by submitting the state bar complaints, and ordered their minions to mass flag Nick Rekieta's channel. Because activism isn't about raising awareness and having difficult conversations and coming together to create a more understanding world. It's about vengeance and destroying everything around you for your own ego. And then they got one of the most popular YouTubers on the platform banned with just bald-faced lies. One of Keffals' specialties. Now this caused Twitter to erupt in support for Keffals, of course, and everyone clapped. Wait, no it didn't. It made Twitter start totally shitting on Keffals and come out in force in an amazing show of support for Nick Rekieta, because people actually like him, unlike Keffals, who they just think they have to support to fit into the progressive rulebook. But no one actually gives a fuck about them. But they crushed Nick Rekieta. He's banned from YouTube. That's him finished, isn't it? Obviously, there's no coming back from this. Keffals wins again. No. He immediately started streaming on obscure alternative platform Rumble to 26,000 concurrent people, while Keffals was streaming to 431 people on super mainstream Twitch. It seems like being one of the most detestable, narcissistic, power-tripping lunatics with all the mainstream media support in the world on the internet is no substitute to making content people actually enjoy and building a following where people like and respect you. Who could have possibly seen this coming, eh? And just a message to Keffals, because I know you obsessively watch everything online said about you. What are you doing, buddy? You proclaim to be a trans activist and all your actions make it look as though you hate trans people. You are one of the most prominent trans people on the internet and say you speak for the trans community as a whole, yet all you do is paint a picture of never-ending victimhood, vindictiveness, pathological lying, and out-and-out abhorrent behaviour everyone normal detests. You are the worst possible spokesperson any movement or community could have, because outsiders see you as a face of something and your actions taint everyone else in the community. Now people are going to think all trans people are just seething lunatics constantly seeking to have revenge on their perceived foes, and that's all you're doing, you galaxy brain. One little bit of internet fame and you went completely insane. Or were you insane before? Probably. Oh, and get some hair plugs like Elon Musk, motherfucker. You stole 100k off a load of gullible idiots. It's not like you can't afford it. Stop being bald when you don't have to. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks, boy.